braved on both sides. It thanks those service members, men and women who served honorably in our country. I'd like to
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't forget the goodies. Got it. Thank you. Okay, moving right along in the agenda, we will go up for council approvals. First item on the agenda is the approval of the public meeting minutes of October 15th, the regular meeting, and October 29th, the agenda meeting. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any question or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next is to approve the expenditures for the month totaling $835,921.74. October payroll of $137,616.53. Current bills totaling $367,747.06. And current sewer bills totaling $117,090.46. Do we have a motion to approve those expenditures?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second it.
Any questions or discussion?
Mr. President, I have a question or two.
Sure, go right ahead.
Lane Sign Company, $3,361 for the signage at the pickleball and volleyball courts. That just seems like a lot of money for signs.
Okay. Any other questions?
Sure. More importantly, Baker Printing for the, I guess I'm going to call it campaign literature, the Concord Connection, the Your Monies Matter, that you had sent out. Yes, I got this. Here, you recognize this, Dominic?
Oh, of course I do. I don't even need to look at it.
What's that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well,
What's your question, Josh?
My
Let's
question
go.
is I got this on October the 16th.
All right.
Right. I also got an email from you on October the 16th from your personal email address to all the council members.
Right.
And it goes on to say that in light of the upcoming budget hearings, I think it's imperative that our residents see how their paid tax dollars work and not the rhetoric that they are being overtaxed. And it also goes on to at the bottom, it says, I feel that 85% of you, my colleagues, will again concur with me that we needed to get our message out. For the 15% that don't, I guess that's me, the buck on this starts and stops with me.
Correct.
What happened with this whole, you just want a 7 thing? And why is my picture on this?
It was a picture of council.
Yeah, but this is unlike any other newsletter we've ever done. There's none of the council names or phone numbers. It's all about just your impression of the budget. And I have some serious questions as to the validity of some of these statements.
Okay, well, we can take them up at another time.
Well,
but
no, I think
we're
you should.
questioning
I
the
think you
bill.
should
We are
reimburse the
questioning the
township.
bills right now.
Yeah, you should reimburse the township for this campaign literature. That's what this
Well,
is.
that ain't going to
And
happen.
I'd like,
That's not going to happen. You have any other questions regarding the bills?
I make a motion to pull this out and vote on this separately. I'm fine with all the other
Is there a
bills.
second? Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of pulling that bill out?
For discussion,
Separate
for discussion purposes, I'm opposed to pulling it out for separate discussion. We budgeted in the budget this year for a mailer, for a newsletter. And Mr. Twersky, you regularly are critical of budgeting for expenses and then not spending them. And so we budgeted for this newsletter, and the material that is contained in the newsletter was prepared by our township manager and is identical to the information that she prepared and presented at a meeting this summer. which you were aware of, and mirrors the material that we present in the HOA and senior communities when we go to see them. So there is nothing unusual about the information. It does precede our budget hearings, and it is the president's prerogative as president to write a letter just like he does on the annual tax bill as well.
Okay.
So I believe
John,
this is
I
not
appreciate
unusual.
that, but there's a motion and a second. Those in agreement with Josh's motion, vote aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? No. Okay?
No.
All right, so now, anything else with the bills? Okay, so last I checked, we have a motion and a second to approve the bills. All those in favor of approving the bills, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Josh, did you vote, or?
Aye.
Oh, on all
All the
the,
rest of them, not including the...
well, we are approving all of them, so we're moving right along. Next, monthly activity reports. I see no one here from the state police. Sewer Department, Mr. Gillespie. Actually, the state police were here because somebody, not saying who, hit the silent alarm. But anyways, so we do know it works. Okay, go ahead, John.
Yeah, I have the sewer report for the month of October from our manager of operations. Both the main plant and Riviera plant continue to meet discharge requirements within the parameters of the NPDES permits. The operations staff performed 8 lateral inspections as required for resale certification. And finally, the township has submitted the Penn's Grant Act 537 revision to DEP for final approval. Project specifications and bid documents are being finalized and will be advertised as soon as DEP issues the construction permit. End of report.
Okay, code enforcement, Mano. Mano, somebody come on up here and use the microphone and face the audience. Come on, it's your minute of fame, come on.
Last thing I need is,
There you go.
anyway, I'm not going to go on, but I'm just going to say that in October, we had 27 building permits, 7 plumbing permits, 22 mechanical permits, 22 electrical permits, 1 standalone zoning permit, 79 activities in total for permitting. Resale search, we had 12 for single-family dwellings. We had 9 signed permits, 1 special event, 1 seasonal event, 41 certificates of occupancy, 3 of which were for single-family dwellings. And I'm very happy to be an American today after what we saw today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Planning Commission, Rich Jewelson.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, members of the community, I'm pleased to provide the activity for October for the Planning Commission. We reviewed and commented on the request for conditional use for the Hospitality Group, Favor Restaurant at 1102 Baltimore Pike, 10 Folio 13-0078-. As there were no plans for the month, the public meeting for the Planning Commission was canceled. Scheduled for the coming month, the agenda meeting will be held on November 11th. The public meeting will be held on November 18th, and the caucus meeting will be held on November 26th. Thank you.
Thank you. Solicitor, Mr. Donahue.
Yes, be advised, with respect to the Saladini building project, the township has moved on the letter of credit, being that the builder, after being repeatedly warned to finish the job, and he's failed to do so, that we're moving on the letter of credit and going to make sure that the job is completed satisfactory fashion for the township engineers.
Okay.
I have a question. There's a letter of credit in place or an escrow account or both?
There is an escrow account with a letter of credit in it. The bank, we have indicated to the bank we're moving on it. They've acknowledged it. They want to know how much the remediation is going to cost, and we're waiting to get a quote from the engineers.
Right, very good. Thank you.
Okay. Township Manager Amanda.
Sure. I just want to be sure and thank everyone who participated in our Harvest Festival. Park and Rec Department does a great job, the board, and I understand it was a great showing, and there were lots of dogs who looked great in their costumes and little kiddos. So thank you so much to the Park and Recs board, particularly Allison O'Donoghue, for organizing that event. It was well attended. I also wanted to just point out, as the daughter of a Marine, that Veterans Day ceremony is going to be on November 10th. I think Marty may still be here, but he might have walked out. That'll be at 3:00 p.m. at the American Hero Memorial, which is in front of the Public Works Garage near the library. That's all.
Thank you. Public forum, public comment. Anybody with any questions? Name and address, please.
Jim Tucker, 86 Mendenhall Drive. And I have a couple. Today I was driving on Smith. The manhole cover that's very low, and it's been very low for years.
That low.
Somebody stuck a cone. Wondering if that was the township that did that, because now you have to swerve out of the lane into traffic.
John knows about this information.
Yeah. I do go by Smithbridge Road every day, a couple times, and I know what you're talking about.
Everybody who drives it.
And sometimes the cone is there, and sometimes it isn't. And when it isn't, you forget about it, and you go in and you go, boom. It's about 3 to 4 inches low. Needs to be fixed. It's a state highway, and we have to get our sewer contractor out there to repair it. So
No.
should be on the list for our township manager, our sewer department.
So just to correct, we are fully aware, we've been actually working with Representative Barr's office to get the state out there. It is not our infrastructure. It is not our manhole. We have absolutely no jurisdiction over what that is and why it's sinking.
Mano,
I know to avoid it on Smith.
is Barr still out there?
His staff is working with PennDOT to get someone out there. They actually filled it at one point a little bit. They put a cone in when they were doing the bridge work over there. And we are unsure. We have been nonstop trying to get them out here to fix it.
That was the first thing. That just came up today.
All right.
Second thing was when the township was cutting the grass, 3 open lots across the house, they cut the edge of the grass real high. The township does it. They knocked over one of the sewer pipes that
Clean
was
out?
just installed.
Okay. That's easy enough to fix. There are those 3 vacant lots I think Fasciola owns, Broadway Real Estate? Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, we can
They
fix it.
cut that grass periodically.
I wonder if it would make sense to put a 4x4 or something.
Well, they have
That again?
something, but it's 5 feet behind the pipe.
Yeah, but they should maybe put it right at the pipes. No better. Okay. Yeah,
Either way, I'll look into it and we'll take care of anything.
yeah, that's easy enough.
2 other things that I mentioned last meeting I was at. Water from the spring has starting to get cold, so that's all going to ice over. They did go out and look at it. Chester Water came out to look at it, determined it wasn't Chester Water, that it was spring. My yard.
Let's get the
Address.
have it again. Yeah, we brought this up about 3 meetings ago. Yeah, there was a stormwater runoff problem too.
Yeah, I had never heard anything about that.
Okay, well, we'll follow up on that too, because I think I was about 3 brought those up. I think Nate was here that night. Go ahead.
And the last thing was also from that, back in June, Pico placed all the telephone poles. Cut all the poles in half.
Never
All
got
the poles that they cut in half are still sitting on everybody.
Uh,
Get somebody out there to.
That would be another item that we've reached out to PECO on multiple occasions and have been told that it'll be taken care of. You actually have a resident on your street that works for PECO who we finally figured out, reached out to that individual. It's supposed to be cleaned up within the next 2 weeks.
But are they just laying on the ground or
Some of them are, well, they're still half
Yeah,
poles
some are
still on
half
the ground.
in.
Oh,
And the other half is laying on people's property out there.
okay.
It's a utility issue.
We have a new PICO guy, right?
We have a woman who is supposed to take over, and then recently I was on a call post the storm, and there might be another person now in her place. They've had a lot of transition in the Delaware County role, so it's been a bit of a task. But we have reached out, and we did some investigative work and found out that you had somebody on your street that actually worked. for
Frank
PECO.
Lamanna, next PICO guy. Any insights into this? Oh, I was just waking you up. I mean, we're having a problem with PICO poles, but you've been retired so long, I don't know if you know anybody.
They put new telephone poles.
And we're not. Okay, thank you. All right,
That's all I have.
thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Window. Any other public comment? Maureen, how could I forget?
Rufus's shoes, but it is what it is. I know that you budgeted for the second half of 2020 to see what you're going to do with the present dog park land.
Right.
So when it says you budgeted, does that mean you're going to sit down and figure out what you're going to do with it
I'm
at
gonna
that
let
point?
John handle that, because that's more of an open space rec plan type thing. We don't,
Sure, so, the budget is, we haven't adopted the budget yet, and so that can be handled at the hearing, budget hearing that's coming up. But we do have money allocated in the current draft budget for that. And so the idea is that we would engage a firm to do the plan in the latter half of next year. It doesn't mean that it will be finished next year.
Okay.
Plan.
Well, that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in what it is you're going to do over there and having an input.
Or that'll be part of that plan development.
But when does that happen? Like at one of the, no, it doesn't happen here because it's,
I can note two things, Maureen, that might be helpful. So as part of the open space update that we're working on, as part of that process, and there'll be public engagement as part of that process once we get to it. As you know, we have a committee of a group of like diverse individuals who are going through that an inventory. That park, 3040 Bethel site in particular, will be determined in terms of its use and what it's going to be for. From there, once they decide if that's passive or active recreation or a mixture, then what'll happen is we have budgeted. Sure. That'll be brought to the public. There'll be a public moment for you as part of the open space plan update. There'll be potential surveys going around and other information and like a hearing. There'll be discussion.
okay. And I'm understanding that even when this new dog park opens on Smithbridge Highway, that you're not going to close the old dog park.
We actually will be. So once that park is officially open, we will be taking down that fence is really bad
That's
over
such
there.
a problem. There's like 25 people that go there every day.
well, they'll have to come to the other park. That's why we're
Yes.
moving it.
You know what? It's going to be too small. It's going to be in. I mean, have you ever been up to that dog park? Does anybody
Yes,
have a
yes,
dog?
But we,
You know what? I'll just leave it at that. You're telling me you're going to go in there and take down those pens without telling those people
we
anything.
will post it accordingly when the new park is open. We are moving the park. Okay?
Okay.
Anything else?
Well, it's not okay because I really want to try to maintain that to some degree. That park that you're building, that will fill up with the folks who live along Smithbridge Road. They've never been to a dog park. That will fill up. But there are hardcore dog people that come there 5 and 6 days a week. I go there, for God's sake. It's a perfect spot. I believe the man who left it to the township was a veterinarian,
Correct.
and I'm looking for some relative to concur that he left it for the.
No, he
No
did
pun
not.
intended.
I was involved when we bought that piece of ground. There were no restrictions on what we could do with that piece of ground. That was first year I was on the board. There were no restrictions on that piece of ground that it had to be devoted to dogs or any other animal.
How about this? What was his name?
I don't remember, going back 20-some years ago. That was the first piece we bought. Bob Mensch was on the board, instrumental in that sale.
Okay, so do you have any ballpark idea when you'll be ripping that stuff down over there?
Not at present. We have to get the construction schedule on the other park, but more information will follow.
Okay. I mean,
Okay,
I'm
thank
hoping we can find middle ground. I
Okay.
really,
Well,
really
let's
am.
wait till we get
I'd love to meet you over there.
I'm very familiar with the park. Let's wait till we get
No,
further
no, I'd
along
like
in the
to.
process. Okay. Any other public comment? Seeing none, we'll move right on into new business. First is resolution number 49 of 2019, conditional use decision for La Fava Outdoor Dining. Actually, I'm looking for the resolution in my package. Before we get to that, Mr. Buono is here for the applicant. I was not at the hearing, however, I did read the transcript. Would you have an objection if I vote on this tonight? Thank you.
Mr. President, I'm going to recuse myself. I explained.
For the same reasons
Yes.
recited in the hearing. Thank you. Okay, I have a resolution. Yeah, I have it in front of me, yes. So this would be a resolution number 49 of 2019, application for conditional use approval for seasonal outdoor seating pursuant to the Concord Township zoning ordinance by BCD Hospitality Group, La Fava Restaurant, 1102 Baltimore Pike, Suite 101, Glen Mills, PA. Hearing was held on October 29th. As a result of that hearing and discussion, the following conditions would be part of this resolution of approval. Number one, compliance with the provisions of Section 210, 127D11C2 of the Concord Township Zoning Code regarding outdoor seating. Number two, the outdoor dining area will be confined to the area delineated on the plans dated September 4th, 2019. Number three, outdoor dining will be permitted April 1st through November 1st between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 p.m., Sunday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Number four, no outdoor bar will be permitted, but patrons seated at the outdoor tables may be served alcoholic beverages for consumption at the table. Number five, the seasonal outdoor seating area will be enclosed by a fence at least 42 inches high, which will be protected by bollards/planters positioned adjacent to all vehicular traffic aisles to protect the patrons as approved by the township engineer. Number six, the fence will be designed to provide at least 3 gates and associated handicap ramps to allow for emergency egress from the outdoor dining area as approved by the township engineer. Number seven, no live marketing and/or entertainment will be permitted at any time in the outdoor dining area. Number eight, the number of outdoor dining tables may not exceed 15 tables, and outdoor seating is limited to 4 seats per outdoor table. Number nine, no smoking will be permitted in the outdoor dining area. Number 10, a clearance of 5 feet must be maintained at all times between the fence and bollards closing the outdoor dining area and the curb line to allow for pedestrian traffic. Number 11, signs shall be displayed as approved by the township engineer at all times advising customers that no alcoholic beverage may be taken outside of the food service area delineated as by the fence at that time. Number 12, no takeout alcohol will be sold by the applicant at any time. Number 13, on-site security is provided by the applicant. Number 14, approval of the outdoor dining is limited to the applicant and will cease upon termination of the applicant's tenancy. I guess in order to get this thing started, we would need a motion to approve resolution number 49 of 2019.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And let the record reflect Mr. Mahoney has recused himself as previously recited in the hearing. Mr. Buono, are these conditions acceptable to you, the applicant? Okay, well, good luck with your project. Thank you for coming out this evening. Come on up here and sign it. We're good to go. All right, next we're going to, while you're doing that, we're going to keep moving along if you don't mind, my friend. Resolution number 49 is the 50, I'm sorry. Brandywine Summit Sewer Project Grant. We are applying for a grant to extend sewer lines up to the Brandywine Summit community down on Beaver Valley Road. This is a Commonwealth Financing Authority, and it's what's known as a Pennsylvania Water Grant for small water projects. We're going to be applying for a grant in the amount of $350,577 for sewer extensions. This would designate myself and Amanda as the officials to execute all documents and agreements between Concord Township and the Commonwealth in order to facilitate obtaining the requested grants. Motion to approve Resolution 50 of 2019.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Questions or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Number 51, Amanda, this is a signal maintenance form for ADA pedestrian crossings at Smith Bridge and Bethel. Can you expand on that a little bit?
your resolution number 50, correct?
51.
51. Oh, so yes, so as part of the Smithbridge Road roundabout project, we have trails and pedestrian crossings.
Excuse me, before you start, I'm assuming the same explanation would apply to 52 also.
Absolutely
Okay,
correct.
so let's just do it one time. Thank you.
So we have pedestrian crossings planned with signalization. So as such, PennDOT requires us to fill out these forms for approval in order for those enhancements.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve resolution number 51 of 2019.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Can I
Any
just put a-
questions or discussion? Go
Can I
ahead,
just
Josh.
put a finer point?
Sure. Let's Josh go first, please.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
They're proposing a roundabout at Smith Bridge, Temple, and Kirk Road. Yes, sir.
Approved.
Been approved by PennDOT and... Okay. Okay, well, thank you. Go ahead, Josh.
This is not a traffic signal. These are these flashing beacons, just to put a point on it. Not a red, green, yellow type of situation. It's just going to be a flashing yellow, correct?
Yes, crossing flashing.
All right, very good.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I guess we'll need the same motion for Resolution 52, which is basically the same thing, except the intersection of Smith Bridge and Bob Mensch Drive, which is where the entrance to the library is. Do we have a motion to approve Resolution 52?
So moved.
Second?
Second it.
Any questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, John, I think you're up for 5, 6, 7, and 8.
You got it.
Okay, you go.
All right, number 5, final certificate for payment, change order number 2A under the Liquid Fuels Program to Innovative Construction Services for our road program, in the amount of $34,898.26. And this is the final amount eligible for PennDOT Liquid Fuels funding. Them all together?
I see no problem with doing the 3 certificates for payments all together.
Okay.
And then we'll do the escrow release by
All right.
itself.
So, number 6 would be certificate for payment change order number 1B, non-liquid fuels to Innovative Construction Services for the road program in the amount of $16,166.87. And this, again, is the final amount on that contract. And moving along, we'll do number 7. That's a certificate of payment number 1 to Lecmonic for the Smithbridge Park Enhancement Project in the amount of $93,215.82.
Okay, so we would need a motion to approve agenda items number 5, 6, and 7. Do we have a motion to do so?
So moved.
Second? Questions or discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, John, number 8, please.
Number 8, we have an escrow release for the Hawthorne Development, also known as Ivy Creek, the amount of $742,631.79. And this is for erosion and sedimentation control, storm sewer, rain garden, underground basin, landscaping, lighting, as-built survey, and monumentation. After this release, will be a balance of $106,774.79 for future consideration. That's in the form of a motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Item number 9 is to accept as complete for filing the following application, Astoria Kennett LLC, for a surgical center at 35 and 47 Watkin Avenue on Route 202. I see counsel here for the applicant. I understand that this is just for the medical office component of this and not the overnight stay, because that is subject to a future hearing or a vote by this council to go with. But in order to fulfill your contractual obligations, you have to, I assume, submit a land development plan by a certain. Okay, so you're proceeding at your own risk on this. Okay, sounds good. So do we have a motion to accept that plan as complete for filing? Do we have a second?
Second.
Questions or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Other council matters?
I have one thing, Mr. President. Based on the recent storm that went through the township, we made out rather well compared to our neighbors. And just congratulations to our public works staff for the amazing job they did on cleanup of trees and debris throughout the highways in our township.
Thank you. Crossan?
Yes, just wanted to note that we had an open space update committee meeting at the home of committee member Mark Wilcox in Ivy Mills a few weeks ago. That went well, and the project is progressing. And also wanted to note that last month in October was the 2-year anniversary of Amanda Sirach being our township manager, and I just wanted to thank her for her service and applaud her for all of her diligent work and progress that she's made in the township, and particularly along the lines of communication with our residents. It's something that we always want to be mindful of, so that everyone is fully aware of what the township is doing and make sure that it is understandable. And Amanda really strives to do that. Some of the things that we've seen from her are the new sign that is lit out here on the campus, which is fantastic, and is a second sign similar to that is going in near Smithbridge Park over on Smithbridge Road, so that we can communicate with residents in that fashion. She's elevated our social media posts. She has put together the newsletter that went out earlier, as well as the presentations for finances, and including the signs for the park enhancements. Again, we have to communicate in many different ways in order to reach the most number of people, and Amanda is always looking for those ways, and I applaud her for that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Any
you.
any other public comment? I mean, public council matters. That being said, on agenda, list all the upcoming township meetings and events. I again want to reinforce that on November 10th, there is a Veterans Day ceremony, 3 p.m. at the American Hero Memorial. With that, I'd like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you for coming out this evening.